Good morning, YouTube. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and to another video. Look what we're gonna be working on today. Just kidding, we're not working on it. We're gonna go take photos. We're gonna go drive it. Let's go hang out. $5, the battery's dead. Sick. Please start, please start. It's been a while, been a very long time. Damn, this battery is dead and it's cold. That almost killed my Evo. There we go, there we go. Woo, it's chilly. Aha, always does the trick. So you guys probably guessed it by the title of the video. What we're gonna be doing today, we're taking out the STI. We're gonna go take some photos and I'm gonna show you guys how I go about editing photos, mainly for my social media, my Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Mainly Instagram, I don't post much on Facebook. Let's let this thing warm up a little bit, probably clear some snow off of it. I'm not gonna wash it because it's like literally 10, 15 degrees outside. It's absolutely frigid, so I can't wash the car. It's not that dirty though, so let's let it warm up and go take some photos. I know all of you guys have been wanting to see this STI for a while on the channel. Last time we drove it was on Christmas Day, so it's been almost 2 months. Ooh, that was fun. I love this location. It's so nice. I freaking love it. If you guys follow me on Instagram, which you should be, you know I post a lot of photos from this location and it's like 20 seconds away from my house. Let's kind of jump into this. So, camera setup. Number one, the camera I'm shooting on is a Sony a7R II. Let's turn on some lights so you can see. Sony a7R II, lens is the 85mm 1.8. I get that question a lot. You don't need this expensive setup in no way, shape, or form. You can use a $300 or $400 setup just fine. You don't need a $2,000 camera body to take a good photo. So do not let that get to you. If you have even like an iPhone, you can still take a good photo with. So today's video is going to be mainly about how I edit the photos, or first of all, how I place my car for a photo, you know, a good location, and then how I go about editing photos. If you are shooting on a camera though, let's run through some quick camera specs. So I'm gonna throw over to manual. There's 3 main settings on the camera you need to worry about. There's shutter speed, f-stop, which is aperture, and ISO. ISO, I keep as low as I can. The more ISO you have, the more noise in the photo you will have. Aperture, I am gonna keep around f 2.0 to 2.2. The lower your aperture is, the lower your f-stop is, the more bokeh you'll have, so the more background blur after the subject you'll have. So I'm gonna keep that around f2. This one goes down to f1.8. That's where you get the 1.8 from. On the lens, it's a 85mm 1.8. It opens up to 1.8. So I'm gonna keep this around 1.8 or 2.0. And then the next thing, and the only thing I'm gonna mess with while I'm shooting this car, is my shutter speed. This controls light. All 3 of these control how bright the photo is. But the main thing I'm gonna be adjusting in my camera settings as I'm shooting this car is my shutter speed, and that's probably going to be around like 1/400th of a second. So it'll be 1/400, somewhere around there, I'm guessing. I'm using a polarizer. It's a CPL made by Hoya. It's a Hoya Evo. That is it for camera settings. I'm shooting in RAW. I would recommend shooting in RAW as well if you are shooting on a DSLR. Let's line up the car for a nice photo. So I'm on this beautiful, beautiful road right here, out in the country, snow on the ground. There's not much snow in the trees. We haven't got snow for a while, so there's nothing in the trees. I'm gonna pull the car up and kind of angle it out like that. Actually, you know what? Let's do the driver's side. The passenger side fender has a big ass dent, so I'm gonna shoot the driver's side of the car. So I'm gonna pull over like to the other side and then kind of angle across. Then I want the whole car to be in the shadow. So something like, let's go something like this. And I'm gonna keep my front wheel turned to the right just a little bit. I'm gonna be shooting up there, and I would rather shoot the face of the wheel over my tire. Wheels look a lot better than tires. So I'm gonna keep my wheels turned just a little bit. Let's head outside, make sure it's centered up. I'm gonna turn that wheel just a tad bit more. Wow, that wheel is really freaking dirty too. So that looks pretty dang good. I like that. This is such a nice location. Ooh, that is gonna look really nice. There's kind of a lot of snow in the car, which is okay. Yeah, this is gonna look good. All my photos for Instagram, I shoot portrait mode. I crop them 4x5 for Instagram. That's just what Instagram likes. It looks the best on IG. So I'm gonna be shooting all these portrait mode. Let's get to shooting. I'm gonna try to make this video most detailed about editing and all that good stuff. So with my CPL, I usually pull basically what a polarizer does, if you guys know what polarized glasses are, it basically cuts through all the light. I guess is the easy way to explain it. So on my windshield, if I have it, so like that, there's a bunch of blue, but if I turn it, it pretty much blacks it out, which I like that blacked out look a lot more. I am underexposed just a little bit. So right here where it says, right now it says minus 0.7, that means it's underexposed. I'm gonna set up the car the best I can inside my camera. If you don't get it perfect and you don't get it absolutely level, you can fix a lot of that in post. So let's take a quick photo like that. Let's shoot a few more just in case we didn't like that one, the angle or whatever. All right, guys, let's call that a day with taking the photo. Let's head back to the computer and get some editing done. I'm not trying to go too crazy, too detailed. I'm trying to make this more broad for everybody. I know there's gonna be a lot of stuff I'm not gonna talk about in this video, a lot of camera settings and that kind of good stuff. If you wanna know any more info, drop a comment down below or shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'd be more than willing to help you out. All right, we are pretty much ready to upload some photos into Lightroom. So I'm gonna go ahead and open Lightroom. The two editing software programs I use is Photoshop and Lightroom, and Final Cut Pro for video, if you guys are wondering. So let's open Lightroom Classic CC. Pull the memory card out of my camera and throw it into the back of the computer, and I upload my photos right into Lightroom. I don't really transfer them. I have two external hard drives back there. I don't transfer them onto those external hard drives. I import them right into Lightroom. So select all the photos you want to import. I took like 15 or 20 photos. Click import. So we got our 12 photos imported here, as you can see across the top of my screen. Let's go ahead, jump into one of the photos and take a peek at it. So they're all pretty underexposed, as I was telling you guys earlier. Main thing I'm looking for right now is making sure I hit my focus point, which is obviously going to be the front of the car. This looks pretty good, honestly. This very first photo looks really good. So I'm going to head over to the Develop tab right up in the top right corner, and I'm going to bring up exposure a little bit just so I can kind of see what I'm working with. And one of the first things I also always do is come down and do our lens corrections. So there's enable profile corrections, as you can see what it did there, and then chromatic aberration. Next thing that I think is one of the most important things is your white balance. So come up to your basic tab up here. There's this little eyedropper tool. Click on the eyedropper and find a neutral color. So like, I think the correct color is 18% gray. I'm gonna bounce it off right here. It should warm it up. That looks really warm to me, honestly, which I could come over here and just pull the warmth down, but I'm gonna bounce this off. Let's go off of my tire, see what happens. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. White balance is done. It's exposed a little bit better. It's kind of still dark, honestly. And then I'm gonna come down into highlight, shadows, whites, and blacks. As you can see, if you pull the highlights up, it blows everything out, all the highlights. So I'm gonna pull the highlights down pretty far, bring shadows up a good amount. Looks pretty good. Definitely bring my whites up, and then I'll pull my blacks down. Let's go like -14 on the blacks. And then I'm gonna pull some contrast. Let's go like 10, plus 15. Let's go plus 15 contrast. That looks exposed pretty good. Maybe a tad bit brighter. It looks like the car is kind of slanted, right? And I don't really like that. So I'm gonna come down here to the transform tab, click auto, and see what that does for me. I don't really do much. So what I'm gonna do, come up here and crop the photo. So we're gonna crop it. Like I said, these are all for Instagram. So I'm gonna crop it 4:5 right here. And guys, if you want to upload this photo to your story and you want it to be full size in your story, do a 16:9 crop. That'll crop it perfectly for your story. For this tutorial, let's do 4:5, and then I'm gonna kind of just re-angle it so the car isn't like has that weird slant to it. Pull that in a little bit. That looks pretty good. So there's a before, there's an after, and the keyboard shortcut for seeing the before and after is the backslash. on the iMac keyboard. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm kind of liking that. I wish that snow wasn't right there, but other than that, we're doing all right. Clarity, let's pull the clarity up. Let's go like plus 20. Vibrance and saturation, this is kind of like my personal preference. I always pull vibrance up and I pull saturation down. Damn, that wheel is dirty. That looks pretty good. And then I'll come down to my saturation. My HSL is down here, hue, saturation, luminous. And I can pull up my reds if I want. Pull up my yellows, pull down my yellows. All selectively. Let's go into the tone curve. I'm going to actually pull up my darks here. I might even pull down my, just something like that. I'm going to pull down my whites just a little bit, pull up my darks. I like that. That looks pretty good. All right, HSLs. Let's go to my hue tab, or my hue slider. And I always pull down my orange a little bit. I'll just kind of show you what that does. Watch the oranges like in this area over here when I pull them down. See how they turn into like a red? I always pull mine down a little bit. And then definitely my yellows, which is like all the trees and everything right now, and greens. So I slide all of those to the left. Aqua I leave, red I usually leave. This is all personal preference, boys. You can do whatever you want here. I'm going to pull my blues to more of a tealish color, and then saturation, I'm going to come in and pull blues out. So unsaturating or desaturating the blues a little bit. That looks pretty good. I still feel these shadows down here could come out a little bit more, so I'm going to come to my shadows tab and kind of just bring some shadows out and maybe pull my blacks down a tad. Yeah, that looks good there. That looks really good. Okay. Next up, I'm going to select the car with the brush tool up here, this top right corner. I'm circling. Go ahead, select that brush tool. And I have presets I've made myself just for like neutral color cars. And basically what it is, I pull saturation out a little bit, pull blacks down, pull whites up. And on this photo particularly, I'm going to pull the exposure up on the whole car. So I'm gonna brush the whole car. I'm gonna not brush the headlights. I'm gonna not brush the wheels, not brush the windows. If you want, you can use auto mask right here. I prefer not to. I prefer just to use show selected mask overlay. And so it'll kind of highlight it red and you can kind of see what exactly you're brushing. Alright, so as you can see, we have the whole car selected, all the black paint on the car. Let's go ahead and take off this show selected mask overlay and see how it looks. It looks pretty good. I think I'm going to pull up the exposure and probably pull up saturation. Looks a little too unsaturated for me. Kind of just mess around with it, see what you like. That looks pretty good. That looks really good. I like that a lot. Before or after. It's looking alright. I think that these trees in the background need to pop a little bit more. So let's go pull up green in the saturation and then hue. Yeah, something like that. Something like that looks pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. What do you guys think? The next thing and probably the last thing is split toning. And this is literally all personal preference. You could leave the photo like this if you want, but if you want some different color in the highlights and in the shadows, you can do this. So basically right there, I'll bring in a lot of red in the shadows, green, blue, purple, stuff like that, right? You can kind of see as I slide across here. So I'm going to pull my saturation in the shadows to about 3 and put that at like a, let's go like a blue, tealish, and then highlights, let's do like a green. I actually don't like that. That does not look good to me. Ugh. Yeah, see on this photo, I don't like it at all. That looks alright. Just a little bit of green in the highlights looks pretty good. Let's go a little less. Let's go like 1. Saturation 1. That looks good, guys. What do you guys think? I am seeing a zip tie hanging down here. I don't know what that is. I'm going to pull that out real quick. Just using the clone stamp. Bam. Like that. That's done. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think this photo looks good. I think I'm going to crop it up. Bring the car down to the bottom of the photo a little bit. Something like that. And we can go ahead and export this. So File, Export. I'm going to throw my Vossen logo on as a watermark. Click Export. And if you guys edit on a Mac like I do, the best way to get it over to your phone, if it's an iPhone, if you're going Apple to Apple, is just AirDrop. So turn on the AirDrop on your phone and your Mac and simply AirDrop it over. Yo, there we go. Alright guys, that is pretty much it. That is how I go about editing or taking a photo and editing it for my social media. If you guys want to edit this photo for practice or whatever, I will have it linked down in the description box below. Just a raw photo. You can go on there, download it. You know what? Let's turn this into like a what would you call it? Like a little contest or something. Make it kind of fun for you guys. How should we do this? Go down below, download the photo, edit it in whatever editing program or software you guys like to use. Post it on your Instagram and tag me in it. And whatever photo I think is the most appealing, the best edited or whatever, in my opinion. No offense if I don't choose yours, but I will repost that photo on my own personal Instagram account and tag you, so it gives you a chance to get a bunch of followers or whatever, if you care about that kind of thing. So yeah, go down below, download the photo, edit it, and share it on your Instagram. Post it on your Instagram, tag me in it for your chance to get shared on my personal Instagram page. I really hope this video helped you guys out in some sort of way. I don't consider myself to be the most amazing photographer or editor in any way, shape, or form. I think my photos are decent. They could be a lot better. They came a long ways in last year or so, and they could certainly be a lot better, but they're good. If you did enjoy it, go down below, hit that thumbs up button. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions or comments whatsoever, shoot me a DM on Instagram or drop a comment down below. I'm sure there's other photographers that'll be down in the comment section below willing to help you out with whatever questions you have. And yeah, if I don't know the question, I'll figure it out for you guys. So thank you for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video.